Now I will start by shaping the flap. So I will fold it in half like so. Then I'll use my curve ruler to create an arc, which I'll use to shape. But if you want a square shape, you can just go ahead and do that. But I wanted mine a bit curvy, so that's why I used my curve ruler to shape it like so, to give it a little bit of curve. So now our flap is ready. But this flap, you need to add a little bit of body. Since the outside fabric, we are adding fusible interface. I'm going to go ahead and add fusible interface to the flap too. So I'll use the curve that I've just created to cut a fusible interface for the flap to give weight to the flap, just as I did for the main fabric or the outside fabric. Now take the inside cover, which is 2 pieces, and then place it right side facing each other and fold it into 2. Thus, you fold it the 10 inches side into 2. Then you measure from the raw edge 3.5 inches down into the middle. Then 2 inches from the raw edge into the folded edge. Then mark. Then join those marks to create a slant line like so. Then cut this to give the inside cover a shape just like so. Now you will need an interface for the flap too. So use shape you've cut to cut an interface, or you can just do the same measurements for the flap. Thus, measure from the raw edge 3.5 inches by 2 inches. Then draw a slant line, then create the same shape you made for the main fabric. Now take your pocket piece and fold it 0.5 inches, then fold again 0.5 inches, then sew on your sewing machine to create a nice hem or a nice fold for the pocket, just like so. Now that you folded your pocket, go ahead and take your outside piece and place the pocket on it just like so. Make sure that everything is matching nicely, then pin it. Now, divide the pocket, the number of pockets you want for your outer part. So in this case, I'm just using 1.5 inches for one pocket. So I'll get about 5 small pockets. So rule lines all through like so. Then take it to your sewing machine and sew along those lines to create the pockets. After sewing, this is what you have. Now take one part of your outside pocket, that's where we just sewed our pockets. Then take your binder strip and place it right side facing each other like so. Then take it to your sewing machine and sew using 1/2 inch seam allowance. After sewing, this is what you will have. Now take the other part of your main fabric, then place it right side facing each other, just like you did for the other part. Then take it to your sewing machine and sew using 0.5 inch seam allowance. So after joining all the pieces, this is what you will have. Now measure and make sure that you have the length you planned to get. So in this case, I should have 14.25 inches for the width, and the length should be 10 inches. 14.25 inches. So now I have the correct figure, and the length should be 10 inches. If your seam is too big, you can now go ahead and trim it to have a small seam so that it will reduce the bulk. Now we are done with the outside part. Now it's left with the inside flap. So you take the inside pocket and fold it. You fold it 1/2 inch, then you fold again 1/2 inch. Then you take it to your sewing machine and sew on the fold to create that hem for the pocket. Then place the pocket on the main fabric, wrong side facing the right side of the cover, inside cover. So the wrong side of the pocket will be facing the right side of the inside cover. Then place your lining on top of the pocket, just like so. Then pin. Now we are using the lining to finish the raw edge of the inside cover that will be facing inside the binder when you close it. So you can put it on the outside cover that you've sewn to confirm it, or if you can just do it without confirming, that's fine. So you can put it like this, then you know where you need to sew. So if you put it on, this is how it's supposed to be. So you need to sew on the left side of the pieces. Flipping it, it will come to the other side. Now after sewing, flip the lining to one side whilst the pocket and the cover is on the other side, and top stitch the seam onto the lining just like so. This helps the lining to stay in place and not flip or be peeking out when after attaching it to your book cover. So this is what you have after top stitching on the lining and the main fabric. This is what you are supposed to have. Now that you are done stitching all that needs to be stitched, you can go ahead and press all that you've sewn. That's your inside pocket, your main outside cover. Then you iron your interface, your fusible fleece onto the main fabric. Then you iron your fusible fleece onto the flap. Then you iron your interface onto the back part of the cover just like so. I went ahead and added interface to the other side of the flap, so that means the flap will have fusible fleece on one side, then an interface on the other side. Then go ahead and then iron your fusible interface on the inside cover too, just like what I'm doing now. So now after ironing everything, this is what you have. Now go ahead and take your flap and put right side to right side. Pin and sew using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So sew around the flap just like so, leaving the bottom part of the flap. You can go ahead and trim your seam allowance to reduce the bulk in your seams. So this is what you have after sewing your flap. Now go ahead and then turn it to the right side, then press it nicely. Then take your inside cover, right side to right side. Go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch seam allowance all around, leaving the bottom part of your flap. When you get to the edge, let your needle be inside before lifting your foot to have a nice sharp corner for the cover, for the inside cover, just like so. Then go ahead and trim all your edges. But when you are sewing the cover, when you are sewing it, don't sew to the very bottom of your cover. Leave about 2 inches from the bottom edge before sewing. Then go ahead and turn it like so. Then press it to have a nice crease. Now take your belt. You fold it 1/2 inch from one side, then you fold it 1/2 inch from the other side, then you fold all from the middle to have a nice fold like so. Then go ahead and sew using 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Now we have all our pieces sewn and ready to be put together. So let's take all our fabric, that's the lining, all the pieces, the inside cover, the outside cover, the lining, everything. So first we need to place our main body, that's the outside fabric, right side facing up, just like so. Please pay particular attention on how I am arranging the pieces. So first, you have to place the fabric, that's the main cover, right side out. Make sure the front you want for your book cover is facing to the right, like so. Then fold it lengthwise and find the midpoint. Give a notch. Now take your flap and then find the midpoint for the flap too, and then give a notch there. Now you are going to put the flap on the left side, that's the back cover. So you are going to match the notch on the flap to the notch on the cover or the main fabric, just like so. Now take the belt and place the belt on top of the flap, just like so. Take the inside cover for the back part and place it on the belt, just like so. Make sure all the edges are matching nicely. Then go ahead and pin them in place, just like so. Now on the right side where I have the pocket, place the inside or the front cover onto there where I have the pockets, right side facing each other, just like so. Make sure that everything is matching nicely. So now the two pockets will be touching each other the right side. Go ahead and pin it. Now you have all your pieces. Now it's left with your lining, so go ahead and place your lining on top of all of this and pin it together, just like so. So now this is what you have after pinning everything. So leave a space on one side of the fabric, about 2 inches space that you will not sew. Then go ahead and sew all around using 1/2 inch seam allowance, just like so. This is what you will have after sewing everything nicely. So this is the space on top, there is the space I left. So go ahead and trim your seam allowance to reduce the bulk in your seams. So after trimming your seam allowance, go ahead and pull everything through the hole you left when you were sewing. Pull everything out through that hole to turn everything right side out, just like so. So you can use something pointy to pull your edges to have nice corners or sharp corners, just like so. So this is how your book cover should look after stitching and turning everything. You can go ahead and stitch the hole with ladder stitch, or you can just top stitch with your sewing machine to finish everything nicely. So after sewing and closing the hole, this is what you have. Go ahead and press it nicely. Then your book cover is ready to be used. Thank you so much for watching up to this stage. If this video was helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tap on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming tutorials. Share so that others will get to find my videos. Until next time, Happy New Year. May 2026 be a year of happiness, prosperity, and life's fulfillment.